What is up? What is going on, everybody? You guys all know what time it is. It is post-game recap time. Baseball season is back. The Mariners are back, and that means my post-game recaps are back. This is really where I kind of broke into the Mariners community doing these post-game recaps last year. I believe I did 160 of them, missed 2 games when I had the stomach flu. Games they won in Oakland, so maybe I need to get the stomach flu more often. But I will have a post-game recap up for every single game. Super excited to be back. Love doing this. Love engaging with you guys. So excited to be back. If you are new here, do me a favor, hit that sub button. Whether you're new or not, hit the like button. Both help tremendously. But if you are new here, I'll break down every Mariners game, and I hope you appreciate it. I try to bring a very level-headed analysis to it. You're not going to see me kicking and screaming too much. There may be some games where you fall into a funk or you get shut down by Patrick Corbin last year, and I will go off. But for the most part, I'm going to try to provide very level-headed analysis. I always say kind of think of these as Mariners therapy sessions, especially after losses and after wins, we can celebrate together as well. So that's the kind of takes I think you're going to get here. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope, my goal is to be kind of a calming voice for the community. And there's a lot of great people in this community that do that. But that's really my goal here. It's not to be doom and gloom all the time. There might be time for doom and gloom. But it's to just try to provide a level-headedness to this team and to this game. Finally, I do apologize again for the background. I am moving. My wife and kids are already at the new place. This is my last night here. You can tell I've got the bed here, the pillows, the blankets, all the furniture's out and everything. So I just had to get some stuff cleaned up, finished up around the house, and I work close to this house. So I figured before work tomorrow, I'd just spend one more night here and everything. So I apologize again for kind of a weird background and me sitting down doing this. Normally not, well, I'm normally sitting, but normally in my chair, not on the floor. So again, I do apologize for that. Not that I think you guys care, but usually it is a little bit more professionally done than it is right now. And also, I will have in the description, use my promo code JSTrident for $20 off on SeatGeek. Download the app, go to the website, use that promo code. If you're going to the Mariners games this weekend, use the SeatGeek app. Red means it's a bad deal. Green means it's a good deal. SeatGeek will break that down for you, and go ahead and use my promo code to save yourself $20 on tickets. Mariners drop this one 6-4. They lose opening day. Hopefully kind of a reverse of last year. They won opening day, then they lost the next 3 to Cleveland. So hopefully we're getting ready for the Mariners to win now the next 3 against the Boston Red Sox. So the Mariners are 0-1. Season's over. There's really no point to watching. We are screwed. It is done. No, obviously not after one game. And listen, and I hear you if you are a little bit like, oh, Jay, it was a tough one. It was a winnable game, and they all count as one. The game in April matters just as much in the game in September. Last year's Mariners are a perfect example of that. Had they played maybe a little bit better in April or May, and just a little bit better, they're probably in the postseason. So I certainly never just want to throw away any game, right? Like, they all count. If you can string together, the Rangers are a good example the opposite way. Got off to a really hot start, cooled off, played a little better at the end of the year. I mean, obviously played great at the end of the year. They won the World Series, but the end of the regular season, and had it not been for a really hot start, they probably don't get in. So it absolutely does matter. But guys, they're going to lose games. They're going to lose another game. They're going to lose minimum probably 60 times. That's a lot of games that you're going to walk away as a loser. It's going to happen. You can't win them all. And certainly frustrating. You want to. I want to talk about nothing but Mariners wins. But losses are going to happen over the course of a season. And like I said, I know every game matters as one. But when you're talking about baseball, the true definition of a marathon, not a sprint. And when you're doing, like, from my perspective, post-game recaps for every game, it's usually never just about one game, right? Like, it's hard to say, like, okay, that, each self-contained loss isn't the issue. It's the big picture of it. If they start out 0-11, yeah, that's concerning. It's not that it was one game in there, just kind of all of it as a whole. So it's hard for me to just be really, mad about anything right now. It was the first game of the year. They lost it. And, you hope you bounce back tomorrow and get that win. And with George Kirby on the mound, you should feel pretty good that this team can do it. So let's break down the game a little bit tonight. Let's start with the pitching, as I always do. Let me pull it up here. The final line for the Mariners. Luis Castillo goes 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 run, 4 earned, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Gave up the home run to Devers. I didn't think that was a terrible pitch. Devers is so strong to go the opposite way there, and it didn't even look like he got a lot of his body into it. Seemed more of a just with the arms, was able to extend and get the ball over the fence. Not the first time Devers has killed the Mariners, for sure. And I thought I thought he was okay. Like, the velocity looked good. The movement on the pitches looked good. The fastball command did not look very good. So I thought kind of a game I'd probably give him a C minus. I'm not going to overreact too much to opening day. First start out there, usually on a bit of a pitch count. I think he did throw 92 pitches actually, but it's just a tough game to kind of, on opening day, because like I said, you're not, I don't want to say you're not max effort. You're always trying to win the game, but you're still maybe holding back a little bit, getting in the groove. Maybe that's the better term for it. You're still kind of getting in the groove, for the rest of the year. So, like I said, the movement on the pitches looked good. I thought he got a little too fastball heavy. He had a couple really nice changeups. I forgot who he struck out on one. It might have been Duran. And I thought that was a great pitch. Like I said, the fastball movement was there. Just the control command really wasn't there for Castillo. Devers got him. That happens. I thought there was a few ground balls that just happened to find holes too. Not necessarily that Castillo was like BABIP'd to death today. BABIP batting average on balls in play, where just everything in play was finding a hole. It wasn't quite like that. But I did think there were some grounders that just kind of found holes. There was the play at home where there was runners at second and third. Ground ball was hit to Rojas. I think Rafaela hit it, and Rojas threw it home, and it hit the runner in the head. That allowed a run to score. I thought Rojas made a pretty decent play on that ball. Decent throw. I thought maybe Cal should have been a little bit more outside to catch that ball, to bring it in, but it is what it is. So that allowed a run to score. A lot of little things like that. Honestly, what's kind of funny about this game? Was that just not like the most typical Mariners loss you've ever seen? I mean, in all honesty, that was like every Mariners loss we ever have, just kind of everything in there. Like, that was when the Mariners lose, that's how they do it. I think before that play where Rojas hit the runner in the head, JP kind of booted the double play ball. Then they were able to get an out of that, but it should have been an ending double play. The Mariners had some fly balls that kind of got caught in the marine layer a little bit. Polanco, Rojas, I think Garver had one as well. They had runners at the corners in the first inning. Garver grounds into a double play. So truthfully, very Mariners-ish to start the year. That's kind of what we're used to with this team, that we've lived and died by our whole lives. So in some ways, it was very fitting. So, if you're a Mariners fan, I don't think you can be too up in arms, because you've seen this game. You see this game 85 times a year for the past 15 years. So I don't think anything new for anybody there. But, that happened. So, yeah, overall, I thought Castillo was okay. Nothing that I saw that was super concerning to me that makes me think, oh, I'm worried about Castillo. Excuse me, they're hitting the mic. Hopefully that didn't make any weird noises. Further on in the season, I thought he was fine. Command could have been a little bit better. Devers is just a great hitter. You just hope when you play teams like Boston that you don't let Rafael Devers be the guy that kills you. And unfortunately, yeah, he kind of was tonight. And I think he finished with 3 hits. Devers was 2 for 5 with the 2-run home run. Taylor Saucedo threw an inning, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 1 strikeout. That's when Rafaela had that triple that I thought Dom Canzone needed to have a little bit better hustle on that. I don't think it's a lack of effort. I just think you've got to know who's running the bases there. And when you have a fast runner, you've got to be quicker to that. You have to know who's on the base pass in those situations if you're Canzone. And nobody should be getting a triple on a ball hit to left field. That's something that should be prevented there. And then it was, I think, Connor Wong, the catcher for the Red Sox, just flicked a changeup that was well off the plate. Maybe could have been buried a little bit more by Saucedo. You want that a little bit more down. But Wong puts his bat in the ball with an exit velo of like 70, pokes into right field for a hit. Excuse me. I thought Saucedo was fine though overall. The triple probably should have been a double, and then the RBI was just a guy got a bat in the ball and had found a hole. Definition of a Texas leaguer. Nothing you can really do there. Cody Bolton, 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, no walks, no strikeouts. I thought his stuff looked pretty good. The slider looked solid, had some good bite. Tyler O'Neill got the home run. He is now homered in 5 straight opening days. And I made a point on Twitter, like, you knew Tyler O'Neill was homering. Every time the Mariners are going up against something like that, where a guy is homered in, 4 consecutive opening, well, not that that's normal. You face a guy like that, but situations similar, the Mariners always seem to just, give up that run. It's just like Devers always gets the Mariners. Mike Trout always gets the Mariners. O'Neill's homered in 4 straight opening days. The Mariners weren't breaking that streak. You know what I mean? So I thought Bolton looked all right. I thought Austin Voth looked pretty good in his 1 inning of work. I'm not going to lie. The bullpen is something I am a little worried about. I thought everybody that came in looked all right, but there's going to be some really high leverage situations that some of these guys are going to have to pitch in, with Brash and Santos being out. Hopefully sometime in April, but probably more realistically, you're looking May. There's going to be some guys that are going to have to really step up in high leverage situations. And again, I didn't think anybody that pitched today did a poor job. Even though Saucedo and Bolton both gave up a run, I thought overall they were fine, and Vogt looked fine too. But I just don't necessarily trust these guys yet. Saucedo a little bit more because we saw it last year, but these guys are going to have to earn that trust in the late innings. And hopefully you can find someone in there that's the Justin Topa of this year, or the Saucedo Inspire, another, guys like that can step up this year in that bullpen, because I am a little bit nervous with that. We'll see what happens when the Mariners have a lead. Hopefully they can get some big leads and not worry about it too much. But, you're going to have some situations in the 6th inning. You're up 1-0 or up by 1. Doesn't matter really what the score is. The other team's got the bases loaded, 1 out. And who do you go to? With everybody healthy, you could go to Brash or Santos or even Munoz in that situation. You still have 2 elite relievers coming in behind them. Maybe you score some runs and you can go to a Trent Thornton or a Cody Bolton or, Colin Snyder, whoever it is. You could go to one of those guys. But right now, everyone's going to kind of have to come together to fill those shoes. So that is probably something that I am legitimately worried about for April. We'll see how that plays out. It's not that I don't believe they can develop these arms, but it's just you're missing 2 of the better relievers in baseball. That's going to hurt no matter what. So we'll see how they hold up with that. But overall, I thought the pitching was, they gave 6 runs. That's not good, but nobody was great, but nobody was awful, I guess, if that kind of what would sum up my thoughts on it. Let's look at the offense. JP was 0 for 4. Who was the umpire? Larry Vanover was terrible. I don't think he screwed the Mariners or anything in this game. That's not my point. But overall, Vanover was just awful. I thought the zone was kind of all over the place. I thought there was an at-bat where JP should have worked a walk, but was punched out on it. He did have a grounder that had an exit velo of 110. And I saw on Twitter, and I apologize, forgot who posted that was the highest exit velo of JP Crawford's career. So I thought JP's at-bats were fine. Julio was 1 for 4 with a double. Polanco was 1 for 3 and was hit by a pitch. Had a single in the 2nd inning, which put runners on the corners. Unfortunately, Mitch Garver grounded into a double play. Garver was 1 for 4, had a double in the 8th. He also hit a ball pretty hard, I want to say in the 3rd or 4th inning, that I thought might get down for a hit that did not. That's, by the way, it's Mitch Garver's first hit at T-Mobile. Cal was 1 for 4 with an infield hit. How about Mitch Haniger? 2 for 3, 2-run home run, another base hit, and a walk in the 9th inning that looked like it might start a rally. Mitch Haniger looks healthy, and that's the key for me. A true, kind of a wild card coming into this year. Just, we all love Mitch Haniger. Mitch Haniger is one of my favorite Mariners, a tremendous guy and a tremendous player that had been in this organization, kind of survived through the rebuild, signs with the Giants last year. I know he's from the Bay Area, or at least went to high school out there, assuming he's from there. Struggled to stay healthy, which has always been the bugaboo for Mitch Haniger, is that ability to stay healthy. But he looks good. He looked healthy in spring, and he looked healthy tonight. The defense looks a little sluggish, but man, the bat looks really good. So just, please stay healthy, Mitch Haniger. Great ovation for Mitch. I think outside of Julio, I think Mitch Haniger got the loudest ovation. So that was really, really encouraging to see that game from Mitch Haniger today. Canzone struggled. He was 0 for 2. Like I said, he had that the triple that I thought he could have played a little bit better. Dylan Moore was 1 for 2 with the 2-run home run. Another guy I've talked about a few times, a healthy Dylan Moore, I really, really think is going to be a huge key for the Mariners this year. Last year, Dylan Moore had that core injury and missed, I want to say 2 months. And then it took him a while to get back in the groove. Dylan Moore's not an everyday player, so he's not going to get regular at-bats. So, he comes up and, when you're not getting regular playing time, he's getting an at-bat here, an at-bat here, 3 here. He really struggled when he came up last year after the injury. And I think him being fully healthy, you can see where, it gets the home run off the lefty, why you have Dylan Moore, and why I think a healthy Dylan Moore is really going to have a solid season for this team. And again, Dylan Moore's a guy that's not, useless against righties either. Certainly better against lefties, but, he can hang in there enough against righties that you have to play him a few times and there should be okay. He did strike out against Jansen in the ninth. That is part of Demo's game. He's going to strike out. But really cool to see Dylan Moore have the 2-run home run with a little opposite field power himself. Ty France was 0 for 4. I actually thought Ty had some decent at-bats. Put a pretty good swing on that against Kenley Jansen in the ninth inning. It was a cutter, just kind of hung up there. I thought he hit the ball pretty hard. I'm not sure what the exit velo was on it. I'll have more breakdowns of those numbers as we go further on in the season. Not going to break that down too much tonight. There was a couple other at-bats where he worked the count full. I'm not going to sit here and say Ty France played great. He was 0 for 4. It's not good. But I thought his at-bats looked all right. I thought he looked fine today. So hopefully Ty can have that bounce back that we've talked about. Like I said, hit that ball pretty hard in the ninth. Rojas was 1 for 2, just missed a home run. Didn't hit it very hard. But it hung up there. I thought it might get out. It would have been kind of a weak home run, but I thought for a second it did, and he did a nice job poking a single into left field against Brian Bayo, right? Who's a really good pitcher. Bayo's really solid, and he is a ground ball machine. So I actually thought the Mariners had some decent at-bats against him. They didn't capitalize on some situations they could have scored. And they got to the Sox bullpen a little bit. Overall, the offense I thought was fine today for the most part. But yeah, Rojas, Urias struck out in his pinch hit, and then Luke Raley pinched hit for Urias. I said Rojas started, Urias pinched hit. Okay, yeah, I got that right. And then Luke Raley pinched hit for Urias. Really bad at-bat against Jansen. So Raley, who didn't play very well in the second half last year, should be noted. Most of his numbers were from the first half with Tampa Bay, and struggled in spring training. So they went with Canzone to get the start today. That's fine. Canzone had the better spring. I don't mind trying to ride the hot hand. I'm not a big believer in like, I'm all for playing a guy that's playing well and playing, is on fire and is hot. Like, play him, see how long he can ride that out. But, I don't necessarily think Canzone's going to have a better year just because of that spring. I like Canzone. I like Luke Raley as well. But that was a pretty weak at-bat, I thought, from Raley, for sure in the ninth inning as the tying run. So, at that point, 2 outs, it's a tough spot. You're down by 2. There's a part of you that's probably just trying to get one over the fence to tie this thing with 2 outs. With no outs, you're trying to get those base runners. And not that you're still not trying to get on base by any means necessary, but probably looking a little bit more for the long ball there than you normally would. And I don't know if I mentioned Polanco was 1 for 3. He was hit by a pitch, had the single, and he also just missed a home run as well. So, listen, 0-1 is 0-1. You'd much rather be 1-0. I can't, say anything different than that. But guys, it's, this isn't football where the Seahawks lost their first game to the Rams at home. And I kind of went off on them because I thought that was a game they should have won. It's a divisional game. And truthfully, it's a game that probably kept them out of the playoffs, right? With baseball, you've got so many, you've got 161 more of these. I want this team to get off to a better start this year, 100%. I think it's been one of the bugaboos of this team. Now, I don't necessarily be one of those people that goes they can't just rely on the winning streaks again. I think wins happen. I don't really care how, where they happen necessarily. If you win 93 games, I don't care if it comes from a 19-2 run or just consistently playing that well. Wins are wins. But I think it would certainly benefit the Mariners to get off to a better start this year than they have in the past, just for us, right? Just mentally kind of to get this team's, for our mindset that this team can compete, can win a division, and, maybe can win a World Series as well. So, but I'm also, it's one that they're going to lose some. They're going to lose a lot more games. Like I said, every team wins 60 and loses 60. And the Mariners are certainly going to do both those things. They're going to win at least 60 games. They're going to lose at least 60 games. It'd be great if they lost less. That'd be amazing. They'll win the division. But it is going to happen. They're going to lose again. And I'm not trying, I'm not trying to tell you guys, oh, it's just one game, throw it away. Like, again, they all matter. They do. This is one game, and it's a game that was winnable. Castillo versus Bayo is one that you think you can win. I do think the Mariners are a better team than the Red Sox, so you certainly want to win it, but you still have a chance to win this series. You've got Kirby and Gilbert the next two games. You got to feel pretty good with those two guys going the next two nights. So you can get a couple W's here. So certainly not in any worry. The couple things I am worried about, like I said, a little nervous about the bullpen without Brash or Santos right now. It just really thins it out. A little nervous about third base platoon. I've defended it. I think it'll be okay. I actually thought Rojas looked pretty good. And Urias had one at bat. I can't really overreact to that. Rayleigh had a bad at bat, but again, like I always say, like you look at spring training, you can't really judge guys on 20 at bats. You certainly can't judge them on one at bat either. So that's all I've got. I do want to apologize. I really meant to have more content out the last couple weeks. But with the move, I've started a new job in the last couple months. I just have not had, and we're packing things up. I just have not had the time to get a lot of content out. So I wanted to make some predictions. You guys know my prediction. I predicted the Mariners to win this division. I think 92 wins, anywhere from 90 to 94 in that range. That's my prediction for this team if you want it. It's certainly not going to change based off one game on opening day. So I still think this team will absolutely, well, I shouldn't say absolutely. It's going to be a dogfight. Like I've said that. This is not a overconfident, this team's got this. This division is loaded. Texas had a great comeback today to win. Houston blew it against the Yankees. But, it's not going to be easy. But I do believe this team can win the division. And especially if you can get Brash and Santos back and the bullpen can kind of survive this first month, I think you'll be in really, really good shape. So I do apologize about that. But like I said, hit that like button, hit subscribe. I'll kind of have everything back up here soon for you guys. I'm going to have live streams, I promise. Think about also becoming a channel member. It's $4.99 a month. I will have members-only live streams. Usually I do some kind of giveaway during those. It might be something big. It might be something, big. It might be tickets. It might be, a Mariners pennant, stuff like that, but just fun stuff. Little contest where, if you can predict the first Mariner to get, a triple, I don't know, whatever it is, best exit velo, something like that. I will have live streams that are not members only as well. So don't worry about it. There's plenty of live streams coming. I really meant to do one tonight for opening day, but just like we said, with the move, I just could not do it tonight. And I'll have giveaways in the regular live streams as well. Not as frequently, but once a month, I'll have maybe even twice a month, members only live streams with giveaways. So think about becoming a channel member. Use that SeatGeek code. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the game. Or are you worried about some things? Or are you kind of like me where, listen, there's going to be losses? And I get it. I said that last year. And I guess technically I was, maybe justified because they did come back and take the division lead. And like I said, I want to be clear. I understand they all count. I'm not trying to just dismiss every loss early on. But they're going to lose games. It's going to happen. Bounce back tomorrow, get that first dub, and switch it around from last year where you started 1-3, start 3-1 this year. So let's hope they bounce back and get that W. Have a great night, everybody. Go Mariners. Peace. Love you guys. Have a great night.